Day 5. Practice what you know. In Philippians 4:9, Paul reminds us that peace doesn't come from simply knowing the truth, it comes from practicing it. What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you. Philippians 4:9 ESV. So when we feel anxious, it's worth asking, is there something off in my life? Anxiety often signals a deeper issue, and ignoring it won't make it go away. We're not meant to stuff it or numb it, but to process it with God. King David gives us a powerful model of this. He didn't just feel anxious, he brought it to God. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And see if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Psalm 139:23-24 ESV. David recognized that anxiety might point to something broken inside him. Instead of avoiding it, he invited God to expose the root so he could deal with it and be led into peace. We're invited to do the same. So far in this plan, we've explored the biblical path to peace. But here's the turning point: it's not what you know. It's what you do with what you know. Paul doesn't stop at, think about these things. He says, practice these things. Truth transforms only when it's applied. You can know God's kingdom should be first, but do you prioritize time with Him in His Word? You can know prayer helps anxiety, but do you actually pray when anxiety hits? You can believe gratitude brings peace, but do you give thanks daily? You might agree purity matters, but does that affect what you watch and listen to? God is clear. Be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. James 1:22 ESV. The peace of God isn't for those who simply agree with Scripture, it's for those who walk in obedience to it. Paul lived this out. Even in prison and suffering, he modeled surrender, discipline, and gospel-centered living. He didn't just preach truth, he practiced it, and invited others to imitate his example. And what's the result? As Philippians 4:9 concludes, and the God of peace will be with you. Philippians 4:9 ESV. Notice what the second half of this verse says. Not just the peace of God, but the God of peace. That's the difference between temporary calm and lasting presence. Spiritual maturity isn't measured by how much you know, but by how much you live. So let this be more than a devotional you finish. Let it be the beginning of peace you practice. But that brings up a hard question: if I'm doing all the right things, will I always feel peace? Not necessarily. There's one more principle we need to explore. And it just might surprise you. Reflection questions. Which of the previous practices, prayer, gratitude, focus, purpose, have you learned but not yet lived out? What is one way you can put it into practice today? Do you invite God into your anxiety like David? How can you start?